Hey, 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 and welcome to this week's episode of the Being Podcast. I'm your girl, Jada. I am still super excited to be here with you all, whether you are checking out the face that goes with the voice, or if you're listening to me still audio, all good. I want to welcome all of you that are new and all of you who are back again. I definitely appreciate both of you because without you, there would really be no reason to do this aside from it is a passion project of mine. And yes, I have been called to do this. That's what I will do. I have created this space, as you know, to be safe for us to come together so that we can talk about and think about and maybe tweak how we believe, how we engage, how we innovate, how we navigate, and how we gain across all areas of our lives, right? So that is what this is all about. But this particular episode, my dear listener, is girl, who are you? Right? And not girl in a bad way, but just like, hey, sis, hey, lady, who are you? Because as we know, you know, I'm always listing off all of my titles, right? Okay, I'm a wife. Okay, I'm a mama. Okay, I have a 9 to 5 and I do my military thing, like all the things, right? But at the end of the day, at the start of the day, who am I? And I've had to think about that and reflect on it. It's still a work in progress because I will tell you, there's the idea of, who I think I am or who I would like to be, right? I would definitely like to eat better. I would definitely like to be more consistent with working out, more consistent with making the time for myself. Now, don't get me wrong, I am doing those things. I am working out when I, can make that happen. I am trying to follow my, hey, if I can do 80% good and 20% I'm still going to have my Starbucks or I'm going to watch my trash TV or whatever that is, but finding that balance, right? Because I think that's putting me more in alignment of who I am, what makes me great, what gets me at that optimal, space where I'm just clicking on all cylinders, which honestly, like if I could just get a good 8 hours of sleep, that would be nice. But with those 2.5 year olds, not so much right now. But that's fine because as my mom used to say, that, this too shall pass. This too is just a piece of going through this hood of motherhood, right? So, yes, that will come, that will make things better. Putting myself in position where I can have more assistance that will help me where I'm able to, as you've probably heard, being in your zone of genius, like where are those spots where you just, you are the bee's knees, you know what to do, people are coming to you for that. And how can we, you know, build our lives where we can be more in that place versus like me right now. Yes, there are days where everything seems to flow. I'm like, all right, here's my things to do list. And I'm just, staying focused. I am getting through it. It might be a day where people are helping me out with the babies. It could be where I'm able to, work from home. So that makes it a little bit easier to get that 30-minute workout in the middle of the day and know that that's okay. And I can take the other, little bit to eat and work, just making it all work because that's what we have to do. We have to figure that out. We have to say, okay, what's important to us? What makes us click? And how do we get there? And how do we set that environment? Right. But first, First, it's about really digging deep into who it is that we are. I remember I spoke to a lady once and I was just like, so tell me, if you had a day where you could do anything you wanted to do anything you want to do, be with whoever you want to be, what would that look like for you? And she she paused and she was like, I don't know. I'm the one that has to take care of everybody and everything. So I don't know what that would look like for me. And so not just, a day in the life of your ideal picture perfect, this would be great for me, but in your everyday, like your life, like day in and day out, no matter what. It's not like, oh, it's my birthday. Oh, I can do this. Oh, it's Christmas. No, like every day, because ultimately, isn't that what we're trying to get to? Aren't we trying to get to that, as they say, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle change. So that's diet, that's drinking more water, that's exercise, that's doing the things that make you feel good, whether that's working out or having a day where you can sleep in. It could be like for me, I've been able to, be in a position where we have someone come in and help us with the house cleaning because that's not my jam. And, been able to figure that out. And I'm okay with that. I'm like, okay, where do I want to really invest so that I am able to not just trade time for money, but how am I making sure that, you know, the return on whatever the investment is going to be worthwhile, not only to my family, but also to me. And I think that's really the key to it. Like, where are we trying to get to? And who does that start with? It starts with us. It starts internally, and it starts with us trying to figure out who that girl, woman, warrior woman, whatever you want to name her, who is she? What does she need? What does she want? What does she desire? It kind of starts there. So my first challenge for you is saying, hey girl, I know you in there. I know you think I forgot about you because I kind of did because I've been busy, wifing and mommying and working and all the ings, but I am ready to get back to being who I have been purposed and called to be. So I see you in there, and I'm ready to re-engage with you, and I'm ready to really listen and figure out how I can build you up. So here we go. So that's kind of the first thing, like who is Jada? Who is, put your name in that blank, right? And then understanding that, yeah, we have all these titles and they're beautiful. I mean, like I mentioned, I wanted to be married. I wanted to be a wife. I wanted to be a mom. I enjoy having a career or a dual career. I love all of these things. And now I'm loving the alignment I'm coming into of my purpose and my passion, right? And I speak on that because that is where I know I am thriving the most. So I'm not a title chaser by any means, but I get it. And I know that there is, for a lack of better word, there's like a validation, right? Once we've become the thing, we've become whatever it is. Yeah, there's some validation in that. There's sometimes we get in there and we're like, who gave me the manual? Because this ain't what I thought it was, right? So now we're trying to build the plane while we're flying it. And it's all good because we can get there. Because I think it just comes back to, again, knowing what you want, learning how to communicate what you want. And then, as I'm trying to be in this year, being disciplined and executing the things to get me there. So it's not like, oh, okay, all is lost. It's not that. So the titles are good. Now we're just about how do we align those titles with who we really are, who we want to be, and how we package that to become her, to live her. We don't want to just become the thing, and then again, that's another title, but we're not living and breathing and embracing and thriving in there because, as I've said before, and I've shared with friends, and I even shared with my husband, yeah, it's one thing to live. Got it. It's definitely one thing to survive, right? Some of us are surviving. But, lady, you, yes, you, the one still listening, I think that there's more to this life thing than just living and surviving. Like, we should be thriving. We should be where people are looking at us like, so you telling me you got a whole husband, as people like to say now, like on my show, Married at Fi Married at First Sight. Have y'all seen that? Craziness. Anyway, love it. But you got a whole husband and you have three whole babies, including 2.5-year-old twins. You have a 9 to 5 and you are, doing all of these things. You've even experienced loss. You lost both of your parents within 33 days of each other, and yet you're still here. yet you're not seeming to be falling apart. Like, how is that? Because if it were me, and I get it, y'all. I do. And believe you, I have my moments. I have my days. I had one just last week where I was super, sad because we had some stuff going on with our baby girl, and I'm just trying to figure it out. And of course, blaming myself because that's what we do as moms. And I just wanted to talk to my mom, and she wasn't here. And what did I do? I called my brother. I leaned into him. I talked to my husband. I leaned into him. I called my friends. They were very supportive, and I even had a friend who was like, I was in my PJs, but she was here. She was here for me. And that's what I mean when I've talked about, like, we have to build a village, and not just for our babies, but for us. So in that, I was able to get through it and to recognize that I don't have to be strong all the time, right? Like, we have this whole thing of, oh, I got to be strong. It is okay to have our moments. You're okay to have a moment. Believe you me, everybody will, they will survive. They will make it. And I tell you what, taking time for you, resting, not doing anything, that's part of the journey. That's part of the thriving, right? And I just want you to know it's okay, because I know a lot of times we will sit up here and we will be so guilty for what we were doing or not doing. And I'm just here to tell you that I have had to learn, especially over this last year, that, as my husband says, you have to go slow to go fast, right? You have to recognize that you can't be the same way all the time, but understanding that layers, all those facets that make you, you, it's a beautiful thing. It's wonderful. It's great. And it's okay to go slow sometimes. You don't have to go one speed all the time. And I think in that, because I've embraced that, I've embraced also that I'm not going to just fair catch other people's stuff. Like, we all have our own stuff to deal with. And I'm just sharing this to say that I have had to learn that in order for Jada to get to that thriving, you know, I have to protect myself. And I've talked about this. Like, we have to create and protect our peace. So that is a part of, like, what helps me to continue. That's what helps me to get through, like, all the things. So yeah, for sure, like, I love having my titles. I love, the different hats that I get to wear, but I'm really loving coming into this person, becoming the one that I was when I was 7, or as I became a young adult, and now, even as I've evolved as being a wife and being a mother, and even going into the future of, like, how do I use all my experiences and help somebody else? Because really, at the end of the day, y'all, that is what it is about for me. It is about pouring into someone else, and that is getting back to my true identity. That is getting back to what makes me me, right? But still understanding that in order to do that, to serve that purpose, to live in that realm, I still have to do the things for me. I have to be more consistent with my workouts, and I have to, drink the water. I have to understand that it's okay to take the day off, take my babies to school, and go get my facial, and go get my hair done, and go get a massage, or whatever it is, because that makes me feel like, oh, yeah, I'm back, right? So I'm just sharing this to say that your self identity, in finding her through self care and self love, sweet girl, woman, amazing being, is not selfish. And I don't want you to feel guilty when you do those things, because it's worth it. It's worth it. And not just for you, I promise you. Your babies will see it if you have them. Your husband will see it if you have him. Your spouse will see it. Whoever you're with, your friends, they're gonna be like, "Girl, but how?" I don't get it. How? Because you should be crawled up under a rock, curled up, just not being able to make it. But you don't have to live that way if you choose not to, right? So, who are you? Who do you want to be? Who is she? Are we ready to, let her wake up and come out? Because that's my second challenge. Let her wake up and come out. It's all good. I also When I was starting this, I was kind of going through some stuff and bringing up some hard things for me. There was a time where I definitely felt married but single a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm married, have a whole husband, and I'm sitting up here like going through things what feels like alone. And I feel like a lot of women do that. Um, and I want you to know that you're seen, you're not alone. It happens, and it doesn't have to be that way. But I am just going to say, take care of her too, right? Because you don't want to get in a position where you snap and do something crazy, right? We don't want to see. Does that show come on anymore? I used to watch Snapped, maybe because I'm from Texas, but anyway. But we don't want you to be in a situation where you're feeling now like you're acting out or doing anything, which is atypical of who you are and your being, right? So, if you're going through something like that, please find a group or find a group of women who can pour into you, or maybe seek out a therapist so you can just get that out. I've had to do that too, and I did do that, and to help to process that, to find my voice. And I'm imploring you to do that, to find your voice so you can communicate your needs and your wants and your desires. Because guess what? As my pastor said, if you tell somebody and they don't do it, it doesn't go away. So I think it's more so, how do you learn to communicate what you need, efficiently, effectively, where it's going to be, conducive for you and whoever it is that you're trying to share that with. So if you are feeling that way, or if you felt that way, share with us how you got through that. And if you're feeling that way, just know that you're seen, you're heard. I get it personally. And I'm here to tell you that it too can pass if that's what you truly want. Going back to your self identity, because you were a whole person before you got with somebody else. Okay, what else do I want to talk about? To my ladies who feel overwhelmed, or if you're feeling a little lost in the sauce, right? Or if you're feeling unseen in whatever way that may be. I think when you get back to who it is that you are or who you want to be, this is going to help some of that to dissipate, if not all of it, right? It's a work in progress. Everything is a work in progress. But what are the things that you can do and say, and how do you show up, and how do you communicate and articulate what you need? I believe that in doing that and finding that and getting back and tapping into, you will be able to show up, and people won't be, and not even in a, hey, look at me, don't you see me? You don't have to do that. It's not about that. But it's just that when you are confident, when you are, you know who you are, you know whose you are. If you know, you know. Um, but when you're in that space, and it's not about not caring what other people think, it's not that, which we shouldn't give a lot of attention and time to people, and that's another subject, right? But you know what I'm saying. But when you're able to really grab hold of who it is you are, who you want to be, how you want to show up, whether that's like appearance or confidence, how you speak, maybe how you don't speak. If you're like me, I do a lot of talking, so maybe it's, toning that down, or maybe you have to come out of that a little bit, right? Show up so people, they know who you are, and without you having to be like, let me tell you, da, da, da. It's not about that. It's not. It's just about being true to you, and that's going to show up when you're authentic, when your integrity, when all of your passions align with that, with who you are. Like, trust and believe. People get it. They see it. And then they're going to be asking you about it. Like, how did you get here? When you were da da. I mean, but I've been watching you, because you never know who's watching you, right? But again, it just still stems back, and for me, it still lands with, who are you and who are you trying to be? And that, when you show up, whether you're in a group or whether it's just your friends or your family or whoever, that's going to help you to be seen and to be heard, and to not feel, isolated. It's going to help you in all of that. And for my mamas out there, especially my mamas or my busy women who feel overwhelmed, get it, got it. You already know all my titles. I'm not gonna list it again, but there are ways that you can set up systems and routines, and setting up the help that you need in order to have things run in a way that is going to benefit you, your babies, your house, all of that. So there is a way of overcoming and becoming who it is that is going to be calm yet confident. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I say, as I'm about to wrap this up and get out of here, start with that. Who are you? Even if you want to take a notebook, journal it down, put it on a post-it, stick it up, think about it for, a few days. Who am I? Who do I want to be? How do I want to show up? Where am I lacking? How's my voice? And not just the tone of it, but how am I articulating and showing up? I say start there. Start there. Who do you want to be? You can do that today. You can do that right now. And I challenge you. Send me a note. You can hit me up on any of my social media. Send me an email, Jada Hartfield Consulting at Gmail, and let me know. I would love to connect with you. I would love to just share with you because I bet whatever it is you're feeling, I've been through it. Because I started therapy in 2021, had had my twins in 2020, and then you're talking about fast forward at the end of 21, I lose both of my parents, and yet I'm still here. I'm still showing up. I'm being who I've been called to be, and I'm here for you. So, have I been through any and everything? Nope. But have I been through a lot? Yep. Am I here to help support you? Absolutely, because you're worth it. So, with that, hit me up. If there's anything you want to hear, let me know. And we'll definitely get it out here. And until next week, be blessed. Let me know how you feel about these videos. I'm still getting used to them, so don't judge me. Just help a girl out, right? And we will see you and catch up with you next week. Please be blessed.